morning, one and all. Good morning to my lovely Scribians. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, this is Jay, just a girl who loves crypto and stocks, back with another one. As you can see, as promised, I am following up with the Usain Bolt fraud saga. Yes, and as you can tell by the title, former SSL employee supposedly details intricate fraud scheme. Yes, them catch one, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait to read. As you can see, I'm pulling this straight out of Radio Jamaica News. Shout out to them. So you know, so I'm not make nothing up. I'm gonna read word for word, and then after I'm done, I'm gonna give you my response as to what this news report is saying. Let's get it started. Alright, so as the title goes, former SSL employee supposedly details intricate fraud scheme. A statement by Jean-Ann Panton, a former wealth advisor at Stocks and Securities Limited, which has been making the rounds on social media, has been authenticated. In the statement, Mrs. Panton admitted to defrauding several clients of the investment firm. The Justice of the Peace, whose signature is affixed to the document, confirmed to Radio Jamaica News that he signed the statement but did not read the content. According to Ms. Patton's statement, she estimated that 864,000, may I read that right? $864,614.60, down to the penny, US, and 18,186,000 was fleeced from accounts of her client. In the statement, Jean-Ann, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, Jean-Ann Panton lists almost 40. Let me read that again. In the statement, Jean-Ann Panton lists almost 40 clients who were fleeced and details her reasons for stealing the funds. This statement, which has made to the management of Stocks and Securities Limited, is dated January 7th, 2023, days before the multi-million-dollar fraud at the entity was made public. Notably, sprint legend Usain Bolt, whose $12.7 million at SSL was defrauded, is not on the list of the persons with Panton named in her signed statement. Given her reasons for the fraud, she explained that around 2010, her father was diagnosed with cancer and she was primarily responsible for her parents' care and finances. Mrs. Panton said her father had to go overseas for treatment, and that is when she thought of borrowing, quotation, borrowing the money from the accounts of her clients. She said, I had no idea how I would pay it back. But that was the solution at the time. 3 years later, she noted her father passed away, and again she went to her clients' accounts to fund the funeral expenses. She also revealed that her brother tried to kill her mother, and he was committed to a home, which further led to her digging into the client's funds to cover those expenses as well. Miss Panton said Miss Panton said the ravages of the COVID-19 pandemic and a reduced salary from SSL led to her repeatedly withdrawing clients' funds to cover her various expenses. The document details the intricate scheme of how she withdrew millions of dollars from the client's accounts. The statement said she would use various mechanisms, such as editing a customer's email in an email thread, which would provide consent for the sale of client shares and make disbursements to respective bearers. She said as the wealth advisor, she would then make a request to the asset management team for the approval of the sale. Once the shares were sold, y'all listen, once the shares were sold, checks would be requested and entrusted to forebearers who would change them at the bank and return the money to her. Additionally, when clients requested funds, she would put more than what was requested. When those funds were delivered to her, the client would receive the amount they requested, and she would keep the remaining portion. In other cases, she said an email request would be made which did not originate from the client, and the entire sum would be kept by her. To keep her scheme going, she said when clients would request their funds or a portion of it, she would borrow the funds from another account to make the requisite payment. Lord Jesus! What did I say in my last video, people? Here comes my response now to this. What did I say in my last video? Go back and watch my last two previous videos. I said this scheme can't be one of person of one. It cannot be a population of one. And the reason why I said so is because the financial system is layered. It's a system of layers, okay? Once you go up one layer, there's a next one, and there's a next one. And so if they were defrauding people of this amount of money, remember this one person took 864,000 US, it has to go up a chain. Other people has to be involved in it as well. It cannot be just one. Fortunately for her though, or lucky for her I should say, she didn't touch both accounts. So she was one of many fraudsters that was working for SSL at the time. And here her excuse. Her parents, her father got sick and she needed the money. This is the case where I see that, boy, this tough. And here was her excuse because she said that she had a reduced salary. Let me go back and find it because I know me I read this, I wear the paper say. Her salary got reduced by SSL, forcing her to go back into clients' accounts and getting the money. This tell me that there's a system, there's a safeguard here that's broken. You understand? The reason why I said that is because you have to think of like a wheel, right? A turning wheel. In order for things to keep moving and keep going, there has to be safeguards around to prevent failure, stoppage, and breakage. Apparently there was none in SSL. There was no accountability for someone to look and say this doesn't seem right. How is one person just requesting money? Then again, it was pandemic time and a lot of people might have fell into financial difficulties, and so yes, maybe they turned to their financial their retirement funds, their savings, or their investments as a source of income. That too can also happen. So I can see how it can play. But she started this whole fraud, guys, in 2010. You have to remember, Bolt opened his account in 2012, so she was way before. Right? I can say that she's one of the first person that started it. And somewhere along the line, who knows how the others got introduced to it? Maybe they saw that money was moving and figured, hey, maybe I could get in on this too. Allegedly. Don't sue me. I don't know, but I'm just putting two and two together here. This fraud started in 2010. Her father was diagnosed with cancer. She's probably the head of the family. Probably the father didn't have any savings or investment himself, so everything fell on her. And she said, boy, look upon all them money and people, them don't take the money, them just sit on it, so let me help myself. And once you break that trust, well, what's to stop you from going back for, something else happens? Another melody happens in your life. Her brother got sick and she had to take care of him. Now, after that happened, more expenses came. Maybe she'll have one water bill and go, boy, I have to pay this water bill, or the water bill I get so high. Boy, I have to pay this credit card bill. Maybe it just started little by little by little by little. She didn't even know how much she was taking. By the time she knew, $864,000 missing. And hear what she said, I don't know how I plan to put that back. Lady, you never plan on putting it back. You were just planning and praying never to get caught. This is how these schemes work. Once you slip down this alley here, there's no getting out. It's like she was digging a hole and just kept digging deeper and deeper, because there's always going to be more expenses. And as long as you have a vault that's fully open to these fraudsters, of course they're going to go in there and keep taking it. And there's no safeguards. That's the worst thing when I'm reading about this. There's no safety brakes, no accountability, no supervisor, management, head-ups to just say something's not right. Where were the safeguards? The wheel just kept turning. They just kept going in. They just kept going in. And she started in 2010. This is why I say the timeline here is very tricky. When did they start to fleece Bolt's account? Because Bolt opened us in 2012. These are the questions I am asking, and hopefully you're following along with this. I'm going to stay tuned because I want to see the drama that unfolds. I really want to see how they fix this, because it does need to get fixed. It's a big, big, big hole. And I need to know how Dr. Nigel Clark is going to fix it, the finance minister of Jamaica. I need to know what the Bank of Jamaica plans on doing about this. So stay tuned for more of this saga of SSL fraudsters defrauding customers of millions, billions in Jamaican dollars. Yes. You guys, this is Jade, just a girl who loves crypto and stocks. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe to the video, as I will be back again with another follow-up.